G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to IL2 with Mags, and welcome to a slightly different perspective on the HE111 H16. So today, as you've just seen, we are doing some high altitude bombing, or relatively high altitude bombing. Our drop altitude was about 2 kilometers. Payload for the run was a full load of 50 kilogram bombs dropped in 2 loads between 2 aircraft. I was actually meant to be flying a 3rd aircraft in this one, but I had a slight issue on my end with the game, so I wound up in Dead Meat's gunner position. Which, as it turns out, was actually a pretty good thing, because it's a perspective of the aircraft that I have not really shown before, and it can be quite exciting when stuff like this starts happening. That is anti-aircraft fire from 2 kilometers below around the factory that we just bombed. So anyways, having just dropped our bombs, it's time to turn back home as Dead Meat's aircraft slowly gets pulled to pieces. If you've ever wondered why his nickname is Dead Meat, this is why. This wasn't the only time this happened. In fact, you're probably going to see the second time in an upcoming video. It's not because he's doing anything wrong, just AAA really loves to shoot at him. Anyways, the gunner position. This question pops up in my comment sections every now and again, so it's about time I really took some time to address it. When flying aircraft in the new IL-2 series, so Battle of Stalingrad, Battle of Moscow, and Battle of Kuban, you must own the aircraft to be able to fly it. However, you do not have to own the aircraft in order to man one of the positions within the aircraft. So if your friend owns, say, Kuban and has access to the H16, but you only own the Battle of Stalingrad and you would like to man a gunner in his aircraft, you can. You just can't fly the H16 yourself. And manning a gunner position is actually a hell of a lot of fun, and a little unnerving considering you have no actual control of the aircraft yourself, and especially when this starts happening. When the gunners in nearby aircraft in the formation or your own lower gunners start firing, it only means one thing: you have finally been located by the enemy, which is about the last thing in the world you want when you're in a slow bomber trying to make it home, especially one that's been crippled and is pissing fuel out of the left wing. So, how do the gunner turret positions work? Well, they work exactly as they would in real life. As you see, the position itself is fully modelled with the gun mounted. The gun only has enough articulation to move as it would in real life, which is actually quite restrictive. You do not have unlimited ammunition on the guns. You will run out and then you will need to reload them, but you do not have unlimited reloads either. There is a limited amount of ammo available for each position inside of the aircraft. You don't have a perfect view. You've got to use the real sights that the guns had available in order to line up your targets. Speaking of which, oops. And yes, as you see, you can actually shoot your own vertical stabilizers as well. Thankfully, in this particular case, there were that many holes in the aircraft that I don't think Dead Meat noticed until I actually told him. Anyways, we did manage to take out the target, and it is now dead. It's just free looping through the air at the moment. The AI gunners in the waist position are still having a shot at it, but the pilot is gone at this point. But not before the aircraft itself took a little bit of a hammering. We didn't get out of this unscathed. At this point, the fuel tanks in the left wing, both of them are punctured, as is the inner fuel tank in the right wing. We also have some slight damage to the left engine, and, well, yeah. Can anybody say Swiss cheese? Thankfully, we've already dropped our bombs at this point, and we are now RTB, which is where we would need to go anyway. We don't have to continue into any further combat zones. We don't have to risk any more potential anti-aircraft fire. We are clear of the anti-aircraft batteries on the ground. We now just have to watch out for potential enemy aircraft coming in to finish off the job. So, the kill scoring system for a multi-crew aircraft. If you're manning one of the turrets inside of a multi-crew, such as H16, and you shoot down an enemy fighter, you are only awarded an assist. The kill goes to the pilot of the aircraft. After all, it is his aircraft that you're riding in. Now, that does mean that on servers where kills and assists and so on are counted, manning a turret position will get you on the scoreboard. It's not just something you do and there is nothing else to it. Plus, it's always nice to have players actually manning the positions if they're available and willing to do so, because they are better than the AI. So at this point we've been flying on for about 10 minutes in order to get back to our runway, and Dead Meat's about to try and put this flying wreck back on the ground. So as I was saying, in the gunner position, the guns are limited by their real sights, they're limited by the real articulation the guns would have. They're limited by their real ammunition restrictions. You only have a certain amount of ammunition in the gun, and you only have a certain amount of reloads available for that gun. If you want to get all of the guns on a single aircraft firing on a single target, you will need multiple players manning each of the positions, and these players will need to be coordinated. And it is fantastic to do. Some of the best flyouts I've ever had have been flying something like the H-16, or usually the H-6 in the past, with a full human crew manning the turret positions, listening to them talk to one another, trying to work out where the enemy aircraft is coming from, working out which guns they can get onto the target, and me as the pilot having to try and maneuver the aircraft to maximise their coverage to get the fighters off of our tail, because clearly in a machine like this you're not going to be able to outrun them. So anyways, ladies and gents, that is a bit of information about the gunner positions in IL-2. They are absolutely fantastic fun, and I do enjoy jumping into the gunner positions every now and again and just riding along with somebody else's flight. So anyways, ladies and gents, I hope this answers a few questions in regards to the gunner positions in IL-2 and gives you a little bit of a look at them. They're a hell of a lot of fun. And just to be clear as well, it's not just the gunner positions in larger aircraft such as the HE111 that can be manned. Any aircraft in IL-2 that has a turret gunner position on the aircraft can have that turret gunner manned by a player. So at this point, Dead Meat is doing everything he can to try and keep the plane level and flying as it makes its approach to land. Grievous is flying alongside and to the rear, keeping an eye on the attitude of the aircraft and updating Dead Meat on exactly what's going on. And I'm keeping a watch out the wing just to make sure he's not dipping too low and about to hit anything. And considering the state of the aircraft, this was a fantastic landing. And an almost perfect three-pointer. Little bit of bounce on the tail. Anyways, ladies and gents, hope you've enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for links to my social media, to my Twitch and to my Patreon if you would like to support the channel. Remember to click that like button, share and subscribe if you would like to see more. And until next time, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.